Today our agenda is to going in depth and learning about the different blocks in Terraform. So before going to that, here are some new guys who joined, and I asked one question related to what is infrastructure as code, and I think Dinesh was the person who answered, but he was not very correct. Like he mentioned that we can create in AWS, but I want to add here, like along with AWS, you can create in other cloud platforms as well. Okay. Like if you want to provision resources in Azure or in GCP or Oracle Cloud or Alibaba Cloud, so that too you can do, and not even in the cloud, but also you can do it on premise. Okay. On premise means like if you have set up your on premise infrastructure with VMware, so there you can set up your Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So if your infrastructure, we can make an API call, there you can make use of Terraform. Okay. And there are providers available. You can also create your own provider based on your requirement in your infrastructure. Okay. So this is something which I wanted to include for the new person who have joined. So now coming to our session and let's discuss the concept. So this is our second session where we will be discussing the fundamental blocks in Terraform. So there are multiple blocks available. Okay. So if you want to see like you can see a Terraform blocks. Okay. Okay, so first block is Terraform settings block. So Terraform setting block is one block, then the provider is another block. Okay. Then we have resource block, then we have variable block. Okay. So we will see all the blocks one by one. So first block we will be looking into is Terraform settings block. Okay. How can you find it? Like how can you get it in your VS Code? So yesterday I explained you about one plugin. Okay. So that can you make use of. So you can open your VS Code, and in the extension, this icon you can see, you can click here, and here you can type Terraform. Okay. So this particular HashiCorp Terraform, in my case, it is already available. So I am getting gear icon, but if you are doing it for first time, you would be getting here install button like this. Okay. And you will click on that and it will be installed on your system. Fine. Now, once you have this installed, what is the use of this is you will press Control and space simultaneously. It will give you Terraform related options here. Okay. Like here you can see data, locals, module, output, provider. So these all are blocks. So Terraform's top level thing is block. Okay. Inside that we define everything. So first block which we will be understanding today is Terraform block. Okay. So this block, the use of this block is to define version. Okay. Version, Terraform version, then the provider plugin which you are using, the version for that. Okay. Provider means like it can be anything, AWS, GCP, it can be Azure. Okay. Anything it could be. So that you can define. So for that purpose, we use this. So what we have to define here, if you are doing every day, like then you have the idea like what we have to add here. But as you are new, you are not aware of the things like what we have to define in this Terraform block. So how can you get information about like what we have to add? Okay. So you can go to browser and type Terraform registry. Okay. About this, I explained multiple times. Again, I'm explaining that. So here you can get information, documentation for all the providers and modules. Modules we will see later in the course. Currently, we are learning about the providers thing. So here you can see that there is providers available. So what exactly these providers are? So this, suppose this is AWS provider. So this is a plugin. When you are writing your configuration file and you are applying this using Terraform apply, actually this particular plugin will make API call to your AWS infrastructure, or in case of other cloud, to the other providers are there for all the clouds. Okay. So those provider will make the API call to a particular cloud platform and provision the resources on behalf of it. Okay. So this is what actually happens. So for that purpose, like Terraform will not understand if you are not giving the information like which provider you want to work with. Okay. Like if you want to work with AWS, you want to work with Azure. So you will have to definitely provide information to your Terraform that I need to work with this particular cloud, right? So that you can pass. So now I was talking about the documentation. Like if you don't know what we have to pass, so is there anything which we can refer? So yes, definitely. You can click on this particular use provider, okay? And you will get this particular block, okay? That you can copy and paste here. Fine. So it will always have the latest version. If you want to change it to some other version as per your requirement, so that too you can do. Okay, like this is the latest version which was published 2 days ago, but you want to use something which is like 4.1.5 or all versions if you want to see and select anyone, so that you can do and put here. Okay, so this you can do inside the required providers block. Okay, this AWS is the name. Okay, this is not like it should not be like only AWS. You can give any name. Okay, but we are giving here AWS for the readability purpose, because this is related to AWS, so we are giving it a name AWS, but you can give anything. Okay, like suppose if you want to give something like provider, my provider or something, that too you can do. That's not a problem. Okay, and this source, this is having two arguments. These are called as arguments, this source and version. So these are source. Terraform needs this source information. It is not from here, but from here it get to know like which provider you are using. So this is the field which inform Terraform to what provider you have to use. And this is the path of that particular provider. So here in the browser, you can see that HashiCorp AWS. Okay, this will remain same for each and every provider till this. And after this, the folders are changing. Okay, so in case of, let me show you for Azure. Here for AWS, as we have seen, it is HashiCorp/AWS, right? Let's see for Azure now. So you can see HashiCorp Azure RM. So this path differentiate. Okay, so that's why it takes the information about this. And then the version, whatever version you want to see. Okay, so these things you can pass into this particular Terraform block. Okay, do you have any question from this particular section till now? Anyone having any question?
Hello.
Yes, Sachin.
So one more question, sir, is how to create own provider? That you mentioned that in first sentence that you can mention the own provider as well. Own provider means what? That Azure, AWS, this is the inbuilt provider, right?
Right.
how to create own provider.
That is your like that is not something which is related to us. That will be Terraform developers who will be in your team, like who is like these all providers are written in backend in Golang. Okay, so if you want to create, you will have to develop that from scratch.
Okay.
Okay, so
Store
we
in
are
the
use of
repository.
already. Yes, no, even if you are having that in your local system, okay, so you can give the path as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that like you will create a .terraform, and in that you can pass that provider plugin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes, this is what it happens, but that is done by any developer who knows Go and want to develop. So you can try that way. But first you will have to learn Go language for that. Okay, for that.
Okay.
So this Terraform block is clear, I hope, for everyone. Is there anyone who has questions related to Terraform block? No questions, right? So we are clear.
Hello.
Yes.
What about the version? Suppose uh, suppose I create the EC2 instance with the old version. What about that version? You get the Terraform, suppose provider mentioned that suppose release the latest version. How to know that?
So you are mentioning here in the configuration, right? Yes. So from there you will know from the configuration file itself.
How to know if I
What how to know?
if I using the old old version provider, and suppose in 2 days, after the 2 days the version get released with latest one Terraform provider.
Okay. Your voice is breaking, Sachin.
Hello?
Could you please come again? Your voice is breaking.
Now is it okay?
Yes, now it is okay.
Okay, I'm telling that if I creating the EC2 instance with the old version provider, AWS old version provider, after the 2 days, new version get released. How to know that? If that code is working fine, or need to update that version?
No, it totally depends on you. Okay, so like if you want to upgrade the version, you can upgrade. But if you want to go with that version, you can use that version as well. Okay, and if you want to upgrade, then you will have to do Terraform init -- upgrade. Okay, and there will be a log file created. We will be discussing these things. Okay, so log file will be created. That log file will lock your version. Okay, so if you will have that will have the information like what version you are using currently. If you want to increase it, like want to upgrade the version, you will have to pass here, and then you will have to run the Terraform init -- upgrade command. Okay.
Okay.
So when we will be doing Terraform init, like once we are done with writing this configuration, we will do Terraform init. So it will create log file. Okay, version locking, that is called. That version locking will have the information about the version which you are using. Okay. Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So this is Terraform settings block, it is called as. And here you can define your provider plugin information, the version and the path, everything you can define. Fine. You can have multiple providers as well. So someone yesterday talking about like, can we have multi-cloud environment? So yes, we can have. Okay. So like I have defined AWS. Now we can use for Azure RM as well. Okay. So suppose for Azure, I want to add, because it copies everything and I just want a part of it. Let's copy it, put it here, and Azure RM. So we can configure for Azure as well. Okay, fine. If you want GCP, so that too you can pass it. Fine. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, it's clear. But after you pass like you did right there, where you have AWS and you got Azure, when you go to create, like say the main file, would you separate how you're creating the instances or something? Would it be different?
Yes, because resource will be based on the providers. Okay. So in case of Azure RM, the different resource will be there. For AWS, the different resource will be there. Suppose, as you are asking, in case of Azure, okay, documentation, let me click on documentation. If I want to create something, like suppose, let me open in another tab. Okay, so in case of Azure, we call it Azure RM virtual machine, right? This resource is responsible. So this is related to what? This is related to, this particular resource is related to Azure. But in case of AWS, when you will be defining the resource, it will be AWS underscore instance. Fine, so that is the difference. When you are creating resource, so in this way, okay, this is the difference. In case of AWS, resource name is AWS underscore instance, but in case of Azure, it is Azure RM virtual machine. Okay.
Correct. But would it be defined the same configuration, or would it have to be two different, I guess, scripts?
File, you are saying? No. In the same configuration file, you can define. Like suppose you can put this particular thing also. Suppose, for example, this particular thing also, and then for AWS, this particular thing also. In the same configuration also you can pass, and for improving the readability, you can pass it in two separate files also. Like one for Azure, you can create azure.tf, and one you can create for AWS. That's for readability. But if you want in the same file, this will create two different resources. One is based on Azure, so it will create in Azure, and this it will create in AWS.
Okay, got it. So is that what you would do if you're trying to do like a multi-cloud deployment? Would you create it that way?
Yes. You can create. So, yeah. Okay, fine. So let me remove these things for now, because we are not yet completely source cloud. Okay, so this is how you can put your required providers. You can put multiple providers of different cloud, and even you want like for AWS different versions you want to put, so that too you can pass. Okay, but you have to have different name. Okay, like name should not be same. So suppose for this I am the AWS CC, okay, and different version I am using. Okay, like 415.1. Let's use this. Okay, so this all you can do. Different versions you can use of same provider. You can configure multiple cloud providers. Okay, those are all things you can do in this section. Okay, if you want to configure your GitHub, so for GitHub also we have the provider available. So that too you can do. If you want to.
I want to ask you one quick question. Is it this batch is the weekend batch or a weekday batch?
Yeah, it is weekend.
Weekend, right? Okay. Is it the same times or is it the different timings?
Yeah, so it will be like for this weekend it is 1 hour, but next weekend it will be of 2 hours. Next weekend, sorry. 7 to 9.
Okay, is the same timings, right?
Yes, same timing will be same. Okay, so it is still searching. It seems my internet is still slow.
May I know what is the fee for this?
Sorry, guys. Somehow my internet card is connected today. I'm facing some issues. Okay. So,
May I know what is the fees? What is the fee for this course?
so fee is something which you can ask from the admin team. Okay. Like, do you have access to the WhatsApp group?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So in that group, you can ask. Okay.
Okay.
And somebody from the team, support team will connect with you and explain all the things.
Okay. What is the may I know where I can see the course content?
Course content is also available in that WhatsApp group.
Okay,
Yes.
I will check with them. Thank you.
Sure. So here it is for GitHub also available, right? So you can integrate GitHub also directly from your Terraform. Okay. So you can pass the provider for that as well. Okay. Apart from this, in this particular Terraform block, you can define the backend location. Backend means you can define like where you want to store your state file. Okay. We have not discussed state file. That is the session is completely dedicated to that we have. Okay, so we will discuss that but for now I would like to tell you like how can you do it. So here you can define your backend. Okay, and then suppose if you want to use S3 as a backend, so you can give the bucket name and all those information you can pass. And as I am used to of doing these things, so I am doing from the ID itself, as you will be doing it for first time. So simply type backend S3 Terraform. Okay. Simply do this and you will get the things. Okay, so see this backend S3 bucket key region. These are the information you need to pass. Very well documented Terraform. Okay. Very well documented. So you do not have to worry about anything. So this is how you can do. Even apart from backend, you can also make use of other storage. Okay.
May I know difference between the Terraform and the SAM templates?
Sorry, SAM templates.
Yeah.
AWS you are talking?
SAM template also is kind of the Terraform only. They can able to create the infrastructure in the AWS.
I'm not sure about SAM template. I know about CloudFormation, and Terraform is not limited to AWS. Okay, it is for each and every cloud. So let's see what is AWS serverless application model we are talking now. So it is AWS product, right? It is limited to AWS. With this you cannot create something into like Azure cloud or GCP cloud. You cannot set up a Kubernetes cluster with this. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. So SAM template is only for the cloud, right? I mean, like only for AWS.
AWS, right? It is not for all the clouds. As I explained it multiple times. Let me show you once again. Okay, so if you will browse providers, so this Terraform, you can provision infrastructure in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, Kubernetes. You can just like you can see that 2142. Okay, today these many providers are available. You can create, if you have on-prem infrastructure created with VMware, vSphere, so there too you can make use of Terraform.
I think the Terraform can use the cloud templates as well as SAM templates also. Any one of they can able to use it, I think.
Yes. Even you can pass your cloud formation template in your Terraform configuration also. That's not a problem. But if you want to use independently Terraform only, so that is more than sufficient to do anything. Okay.
Okay.
So for each and every cloud, it supports every resources. Okay. So why do we go for another, like any other tool, if we can do everything with this only? Okay. Every resource of each cloud can be managed, can be provisioned through Terraform.